Hey folks, this is Waylon. Let's see if this video works. Comcast has not been kind to the cause of mindfulness this morning. Alright, Jesus. My hair has not been kind to the cause of mindfulness. So we were talking about what to look for in a lover. And I lost all of your comments. I know they're in the other video, but if you'd like to restate them here, I'm here for you. Unless, of course, the video cuts out, in which case we'll let go and give up. But for those of you who were around, that was one of our most popular videos ever, which is kind of cool. Mindfulness is popular stuff. I like that. So basically, we established that you want to look for someone, or we were discussing, and then maybe you were going to comment a question or challenge or ask things about mindfulness, that you're looking for someone who cares about themselves, who, like yourself, has made friends with themselves, which is a difficult path, and they can take care of themselves, and that therefore they're ready to be in a relationship, to be in a mature, kind, empathic relationship with another human being. That they're not just viewing you as something perfect, and then, of course, none of us are perfect, so then we grossly disappoint them. You know, a lot of love tends to be like, oh my God, you're fulfilling all of my happiness that I've never had. And then, you know, two weeks later, someone hasn't done the dishes, and you're like, how could you break my heart? You've ruined my life. You've disappointed me. You've lied to me. I feel tricked. I feel let down. That is not going to be a recipe for a lasting relationship. So I have written about this in a book, Mindfulness, Buddhist notion of love, called Things I Would Like to Do With You. Sarah, if you'd like to put that in the comments. It's elephantjournal.com/books if you're curious, but we're not here to sell you stuff, even a book that I hopefully is helpful and about this kind of stuff, that's eco-printed, plastic-free. Yeah, Chanel, thank you. Welcome back from the freeze. I got shut in the freezer because, you know, I've been bad. Yes, exactly, Wendy. We don't want to put people on pedestals. So here I am. I'm going to try to... I'm back. Exactly. Thank you. All right. So if you left a comment or a question in the other video, if you don't mind putting it here, and I'll respond. And if you're just tuning in, please say where you're from. Sheila from Trinidad, West Indies, welcome. So the second thing that I was thinking about in terms of this girl who I just met and who I don't know at all, and I was curious about, and the notion of a first date is sort of almost interviewing someone and saying, who are you? Because it's already established you're on a first date, probably because you're at least interested or open to being attracted to them. Amanda, thank you for your kind words about Things I Would Like to Do With You, my first book. How did it change your entire perspective on love? I'd be curious. Nicole from Ames, Iowa. Leslie from Tustin. Leslie is a regular. Thank you especially to regulars. Cassandra from Milwaukee. So the second thing the main thing I'm really looking for in a lover, in a relationship, is someone who wants to serve the world. Not only serve the world, but serve the world with joy. And that connects with the notion of right livelihood. When we're looking for a career, when we're looking for a path of meaning, we spend 8 hours a day or whatever in our careers. What are we good at? If we're not good at it, there's very little point to do it. Or if we can't get good at, what can we be good at? What can we make a good living doing so? We need to make a good living. We need to be able to pay our rent, pay our mortgage, you know, buy a crib for our baby, whatever. Eat decent food from hopefully local farmers. What is of benefit? So those four things all need to happen with right livelihood. So you want to look for that in someone else, someone who has identified what is important. Sorry, I got dive bombed by a huge fly. That what is important in their life is to be of service, and to be of service not out of martyrdom but out of joy. And that's actually reflected in the Buddhist teachings. They talk about there's two levels of heroes, of bodhisattvas. The first level is someone who wants to serve. And when you serve the good of the world, that is how to find true happiness. So Eleanor Roosevelt, I always talk about, we have 10 quotes by Eleanor Roosevelt. If you like her, please give a like. Any likes, any funny emoticon faces, any comments actually help this video get through the Facebook algorithm and swim out to new people and connect with people who haven't thought about these things. So please give it a like. Be crazy with your likes. It's very helpful. So Eleanor Roosevelt would talk about how she was never happy in her life until she discovered serving other people. And from that moment on, she never wanted to do another thing because she, for the first time, wasn't thinking about herself. She wasn't unhappy. She was thinking about others and finding joy in being helpful. And that's such a beautiful thing. Beautiful not because it's a romantic notion, but because it makes sense and it actually works. So that's what I want to know about this girl. That's what I want to know about any lady I might date, is, do they want to serve this world? And do they want to serve it with joy, not martyrdom? Martyrdom is a very sort of narcissistic, self-confirming attitude. It's okay to express the difficulties we have in our job. I work too much. I'm up late. I'm tired. I don't have a life. I've sacrificed blah, blah, blah for however many years. But if you start taking it too seriously or complaining too much, suddenly you've transformed a life of service into something about me, which is the mantra my Buddhist teacher, Sakyong Mipam. I have various interviews with him, Sarah, if you can put those in the comments. I have various interviews with Sakyong Mipam, and he says that's the mantra of ego. Mantra is something you recite again and again, like with a rosary or a mala. So you say, what about me? What about me? What about me? So you go through life just saying, what about me? How does this make me happy? It reminds me of a certain presidential candidate. Alrighty. So I think that's about all I had to say. What is sad is we had like 500 plus readers every second, which means this video probably would have been about 40,000 people. But here's another mindfulness lesson. If you lose something and you're still attached to it, you're crazy. Because you're attached to the idea of it, not to the thing. So if you lose something, let go as fast as you can. As that quote goes, let go or be dragged. That said, it's not good to let go without feeling the power of something. So I always say, if you're a parent and you're stressed out by your kid in Whole Foods or a grocery store and they're crying, you don't let go of the kid and just leave and say, hey, you know what, I got to go to the gym, I got to take a hot tub. So letting go is not just getting rid of stuff. Letting go is honoring that and letting go of your attachment. Letting go isn't some sort of new age hippie kind of excuse to be irresponsible. So if anyone has comments or questions, I will touch on them and then we can meditate and get out of here. So this video is coming back. A lot of people are tuning in. So please keep the likes or the emoticons coming. They're free after all. And if you want to support Elephant, the best way to do so is to join our online magazine, elephantjournal.com/best. Yeah, there's my book and the links. Yes, exactly what Michelle said. We were discussing that in the other video. The best place to start in dating or any relationship is always to establish friendship, to be best friends. It gets you through the tough times. Well said. Yeah, love or infatuation is not enough. You have to have a genuine connection, which many of us call friendship, but really is true love. There's a quote for you, Lindsay. That's the second one, so Sarah, pass those on. Mick, I looked for a person who could accept my imperfections and can live with it. Same thing in the other way from them. I love that, Mick. Beautiful. Yusra from Morocco. Hello to Morocco. Wow, cool. Christine from New Hampshire. I used to live in Vermont. All right. There's Sarah. Everyone can say thank you to Sarah. She's a big sweetie. And we also have Chelsea, who's training. Michelle, hello again from New York. Hello again. Thank you for those of you who are returning. It's kind of miraculous. Roxana from Uruguay. Serve the world with joy. Oh, so I was saying, so in Buddhism, there's two classes. There's someone who serves the world. It's called Tathagata. You're a bodhisattva. That's wonderful. But then the higher class is Sugata, which we put on our tote bag, which I don't have around. But Sugata is the class of people who serve the world with joy. I love that. It's actually better and more honored to serve the world with joy in Buddhism. Robin from Twin Heart, California. Wendy, there are all kinds of love in this world, but never the same love twice. F. Scott Fitzgerald, wonderful writer about love. And kind of a feminist writer. He wrote about the Fitzgerald girl. He wrote about independent women back before it was maybe common. All right, Teresa, two people with the same morals and values who are not at a job interview for dating, not to fulfill a certain requirement, to just naturally mesh with someone without trying to impress them. That sounds good, just being genuine. Do things in joy. I love that, D. Things I would like to do with you. Hope said TIWLTDWY, and I was like, well, what the hell is that acronym? But it's my book. Is a phenomenal read. I love it and recommend it often. Sometimes it's skimming a few pages before bed. That's kind of how it was written, that you could just read a paragraph or two at a time. It's sort of, people ask what it is, and I'm like, I don't really know. It's not memoir, but it kind of is. It's not fiction, but it sort of is. It's not poetry, but it kind of is. It's probably poetry, something like that. Sometimes it's skimming a few pages before bed to calm and center, or diving in for an hour. Thank you for sharing your amazing thoughts. Yeah, well, I just wrote about my experience of genuine love and looking for it and what it was from a Buddhist point of view, so that having that reflection that a genuine relationship isn't putting someone on a pedestal or even a mutual experience of that. It's really just a partnership, a match of equals, and there's this delicious tension when something is balanced or in perfect imbalance, and having a little space in between. So it's not this claustrophobic two become one. There's space to dance and to play, and that it's not all about you and the relationship and one another. It's about being of service. So walking a path together, holding hands, and being of service. Having some sense of humor and independence, room for creativity. That's sort of the Buddhist notion of love. So now you don't need the book. You just got the TLDR of the book. Nathan, good day from Western Mass. Timely and refreshing perspective on the subject. Thank you, Waylon. Thank you. All right. Any other comments? Chanel from Australia. Question. So not much what you might individually be looking for, but fundamentally about trust, about trusting the other person, but also trusting our own judgment. I'm not a big fan of trust. Trust is a positive word for a sort of negative thing, which I, at least from the Buddhist perspective, is sort of like faith. So you don't have to trust something if you're in the present moment with it. There's this beautiful poem by Trungpa Rinpoche that says, genuine friendship is not trusting. Genuine friendship relies on the present moment only. So you can just be awake and you can be present with someone instead of assuming. So assuming is sort of analogous to trust. Trust, you can trust in someone's basic goodness. You can trust in the present moment, but you don't need to have some sort of blind faith in them. You can just be present with them. And that's super fun. The present moment is where all the good stuff happens. Present moment is where you enjoy coffee. The present moment is where you make love and feel it instead of some sort of projection or speediness that can happen. We have a mug, I think, or a cup with a quote like that. The present moment is where brilliance may occur. Something like that. So I do think it's rather specific. You're looking for someone who takes care of themselves and who can have fun without faking it, kind of. And that was the notion of drugs in What to Look for a Lover, Part 1. And then Part 2 is, or the second thing is looking for someone who is oriented toward being of service with joy. Terry from Central Valley, California, where half the food in the U.S. is grown. Michelle from Oregon again. Nick, what I'm running into is embracing the need to consider how closely I do or do not align with my expectations in a potential partner. That is a fantastic riddle. That's like a koan. So you're looking for someone who is of service and joy, but you also don't want that to be some big projection or expectation. You want to actually find it. So there's these great quotes from Arthur Conan Doyle, the author of Sherlock Holmes, and Sherlock Holmes saying, the secret to my genius is that I simply walk into situations with a completely open mind. I find all the clues and I put them together instead of walking in thinking what has already happened and then fitting the clues to my projection. So correct, Nick. You want to have that balance between looking for someone who can take care of themselves, who can have fun naturally, but you also want to find someone and finding someone who wants to be of service, but you don't want to go in with these like heavy, serious projections. And that's where a sense of humor comes in. You can just play. You can just have fun with yourself and them. Briannia, letting go of unhealthy relationships is good stuff. Amen. Robin, my dad served the world almost to a fault. My mom was always stood in his shadow, but had she not been there, I don't think my dad could have been of as much benefit as he was. God bless them both. Yeah, so that's a fascinating kind of relationship. She served him and he served the world. So they're helping each other, and that's what a lot of great partnerships can do is, we can serve each other and we can serve the world, and we can help one another to do both. So Robin, that sounds a-okay. Carly, I've been married to my best friend for 10 years. I'm so happy for you. That is such a good thing to hear. Makes me feel like the world is okay whenever I hear that kind of thing. Our life together has been messy, filled with highs and lows. We have survived some crazy things, including the death of one of our children. And I believe we survived because even though we are different people, we both have very similar beliefs and values, and we accept each other's flaws. Carly, that is beautiful, and everyone should give Carly some love, and thank you for sharing that. You just made this second video worth it. John, what's the point of forming relationships? It's all going to end in tears anyway. Well, number one, you're not wrong. But number two, seeing suffering should be... So there's this beautiful Buddhist phrase that says, if you can keep the vision and brilliance of the goodness of everything in mind, and at the same time the sadness and suffering of confusion in your heart, if you can do both at the same time, then you can have a proper cup of tea. You can be present, you can appreciate your life, and you can be of service and be of benefit. So John, I love your question. So when you feel the sadness and pain of confusion of life, that is not an excuse to become nihilistic, to take it too seriously. If all you did was feel empathy and suffering all day long, number one, you're going to be a wreck, and number two, you're not going to be actually helpful to anything or anyone. So you have to keep both in mind, and that's this delicious dance that is life. That is also a lot more fun, and that is a lot more helpful. So you're not wrong, number one, and anyone who tells you you're wrong is lying. As I grew up, I remember being like 32 or something. This was a while ago. And I'll just be a little bit X-rated for a second. I was having some amazing sex with this gorgeous woman who we had a good friendship with each other, right on top of a balcony. And it was like kind of awesome, right? And literally as it's happening, partially because I'd grown up a little bit, I was thinking, wow, before you know it, we're going to be mad at each other and we're going to be breaking up. Because at a certain point, you've been in enough relationships that you stop kind of thinking everyone is perfect and this is the one, and every movie, every relationship is like that movie Great Expectations. You're running through the rain to get to Gwyneth Paltrow and everything's going to be perfect. That's not how it is. So as you say, what's the point of forming relationships? It's all going to end in tears anyway. Well, hopefully those tears are happy, grateful tears, and they come at the end of a long, good life spent being a benefit to the world. That's the best I think any of us can hope for, is tears of gratitude and joy. And, you know, that's how rainbows form, right? There's water and there's sunshine, so you want both together. John, great question. Just beware of nihilism. Don't trust it. It's too self-important. Nihilism is like the third-party voter of emotions. You're like, I am so alternative and so cool that I'm going to shoot myself in the foot and feel proud of it. All right. Millie, I adore your book. It travels with me. Thank you, Millie. I hope you enjoy it. My volume's not good. Yeah, maybe if you can turn it up. There's not much I can do. It's kind of right in front of my face, and I already have to look at my face, which is painful enough. Heather, number one quality look for in love, honesty. Honesty builds trust. Trust in a relationship makes anything and everything wonderful and workable. Yeah, I'm a big fan of honesty. I'm not a huge fan of trust. I'm more a fan of being awake. So the Buddhist notion of awake is very interesting. Buddha actually means to be awake, an awakened one. So we can let go of trust and kind of assumption, and we can focus more on let's just be present in every moment. And that's how I was just with my one of my childhood best friends, Kyle. He was visiting Halifax, and he's in a beautiful marriage that's very real with a kid, and that's kind of what he said about marriage. I was asking him some advice about it, and he said, you know, you just kind of let go of all your fantasies and your expectations, and you have this friendship and this working relationship, and you kind of give it everything, and you pick someone who you want to do that with, who you respect, and then if it works out, great, and if it doesn't, well, then you're one of those people where it didn't work out. It was such a, he's a surfer. It was a very relaxed but very wise kind of observation. The name of my book is Things I Would Like to Do With You, Margaret, and the link is in the comments somewhere. Yes, exactly, Michelle. I love what you just said. Don't look to put people on a pedestal, or don't look to be put on a pedestal, and don't look to be someone's doormat either. I love that. I'm going to steal that and make a quote out of it. Yeah, there's our tote bags. Actually, the best link to our tote bags would be elephantjournal.com/shop. You can tell Sarah has not been to our own shop. All right. Maria, it's definitely a tricky dance, and that's why being present is the only way to dance, right? If you're assuming a dance with someone, if you're trusting a dance with someone, that works if you all know all the steps and you don't mess up. But what if something goes wrong? Well, you have to be present, and you have to have a sense of humor and delight in that. And that is a relationship. So dance. Dance is a great analogy for a relationship. D, finding someone whose rhythm complements yours is important. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you spelled Sugata correctly. If you go to Sugata Elephant Journal, you'll find I've blogged about the whole notion. And check out this piece of hair. What is going on? This is why people shower. All right. Renee, my mother recommended that my partner should have sucked it up to go to a play with me last night, which I went without him. I think my mother's advice is not healthy, and I don't want that kind of relationship. Renee, best comment of the day. I agree. A relationship is not some sort of license to force your partner to do everything. You can be independent. You can be lonely. You can be alone. Fundamentally, we are alone. That's not a negative nihilistic thing. We are ourselves, and we don't need to use our partner as a crutch. So yeah, if you know, I love going to the Nutcracker every year. I'm super into it. It fills me with Christmassy nostalgia, even though I'm Buddhist. I love it, I love it, I love it. I don't even know why I love it so much, but I love it so much. But I've also been with girlfriends who don't like Christmas, don't really care about ballet, have seen the Nutcracker 5 times already, don't really want to dress up, don't want to go to a nice dinner before the ballet, and would rather do something else. And you know what? That's okay. I can invite friends, I can invite their families. You can be independent. I love that. A relationship with independence in it. Shh. Let's all tell that truck to be quiet. Shh. Quiet. Trucks are so annoying. That's why I bicycle. They're so quiet. All right, the book is called Things I Would Like to Do With You. Intuition, I have no idea what intuition actually is. Intuition is something people love to blog about. But who knows? Deborah, what are your thoughts on being responsible for each other's happiness in a relationship? I think that's codependence. But oh my God, this truck is so loud. But you know, it's also nice to care about someone's happiness and to care about each other in a relationship. So we don't have to be too uptight about independence. Empathy is good stuff. Good morning from Sonoma County. Everyone here is jealous of you because you live in heaven. Probably one of the best weekends of my life was in Napa, Sonoma, being around farmers who actually can make money off of being good to the land. I was in love. Yeah, so beautiful quote from Cassandra. That quote is actually in Things I Would Like to Do With You, and it reflects a very healthy notion of love. But let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance between you. Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from one cup. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf. Sing and dance together and be joyous, but let each one of you be alone, even as the strings of a lute are alone, though they quiver with the same music. Give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping, for only the hand of life can contain your hearts. And stand together, yet not too near together, for the pillars of a temple stand apart, and the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow. Khalil Gibran. So that quote is in Things I Would Like to Do With You. It's a beautiful poetic exposition of a healthy relationship where you're not, you know those couples that are sort of making out, like wet kissing each other in public? Like, it's kind of nice that you have that enthusiasm for yourself, but it's also a bit much. Like, you know, we don't need to be all over in each other's throats all day long. Not too tight, not too loose kind of thing. But I love that. It's such a beautiful quote. So that reminds me, probably one of the most popular blogs I ever wrote, or articles, is called Love is Selfish. And it's about this notion of searching for a love that isn't selfish. And that is genuine love. So sorry if you could put that in the comments. Chantel, I think the truck just shut up. How do you know if you found the one? Wow, what are they doing? All right, Chantel, great question. I did a video on that, which hopefully Sarah's put in the comments in the last video, but it's about how do we know if we found the one. It's one of my most popular videos ever. So maybe we'll just put that in the comments and move on. But basically, if by the one we mean someone perfect, Mr. Right, Mrs. Right, you're never going to find that person. Which is actually good news. Life is real, life is present, life is up, life is down. I wrote about that in Things I Would Like to Do With You. Genuine love is up, genuine love is down, but genuine love never fundamentally wavers. So don't look for perfection, look for heart. How's that? And then if you want more, watch that video. Hello from South Africa, from Leanne. Oh my God, I just stumbled on this live feed and how appropriate it says, if I was meant to tap into this right now. Get it? Tap? You are answering so many questions I've been contemplating in my head the past few months. Thank you. Yeah, well, none of this is really from me. Anything good is not from me. It's from Buddhism. And no one cares if you're Buddhist or not. This is not about converting people. It's just accessible wisdom. Deanne, amen. Laughter is important. Chanel, good point. Retrust, assumption, presence. Awesome. I'm glad people get that. Often people are so attached to trust. Danielle, surely there is more honor in serving the world and not getting joy from it because you are doing good for others in spite of yourself and your feelings. Whereas if you get joy from serving the world, then that is a selfish reason for serving. There is no such thing as a selfless good deed. Comes to mind. Appreciate your point of view as always. Yeah, so you really, Daniel, are describing the koan of genuine service. So Yvonne Chouinard, who's one of my business idols, founder of Patagonia, says, there's nothing more selfish than being an environmentalist. Because if you care about yourself, then you should care about the planet. Because if you don't have a healthy, happy Mother Earth, check this out, there it goes again, then, you know, you're not going to be healthy or happy. We need the planet. So nothing's wrong with sort of enlightened selfishness. Selfishness that is, if I want to be genuinely happy, so this is a Buddhist quote, if you want to be happy, think first of others. You can think of yourself, but think first of others. If you want to be unhappy, think only of yourself. So if you're going to be selfish, be intelligently selfish, meaning think first of others. So nothing's wrong with being happy and serving the world. In fact, that's wonderful. It's so nice to be around people who make service look fun. It's a drag to be around people who are like, oh, I work my fingers to the bones trying to teach you damn kids, and yet no one appreciates me. I make crap money. I'm driving a crappy car. I hate what I'm doing, but I'm such a wonderful, noble person for working so hard for the planet. No one appreciates me, you know? So I'm not trying to make fun of anyone out there who doesn't make a good living, who works their fingers to the bone. My mom made a horrible living. She was a teacher, but she did it, but she loved teaching. She loved the children. She loved it. And she had a really wealthy life. So don't get down on yourself for loving something, especially if it's good for other people. There's this sort of puritanical notion in kind of what you're saying that you don't want to actually allow yourself to enjoy service. Michelle, a sense of humor is absolutely essential. Ashley, I love that. Always working on not having projections, expectations. Hello from Boston. I used to live in Boston for many, many years. Pretty much all the 90s. I went to Boston University. Erica, it's wonderful that you send this energy and message out into the world. It can be hard to look for mindful love in a culture that tends to be self-centered. It's comforting to have a platform where we can be surrounded by like-minded individuals, then figure out ways to share that with the world. Don't ever stop spreading this message. Thank you. So, yeah, I mean, if you mean what you say, Erica, and I know you do, because that was very sweet and genuine, please get our online magazine. Facebook does not care about Elephant. It doesn't care about independent media. It doesn't care about journalism. It has reduced Elephant size by 2/3 this year because of the algorithm. I don't hate Facebook. I'm grateful to them for being an amazing conduit and partner to get Elephant out there in the world. But if you want to keep Elephant in your life, there's only one trustworthy way to do so, and that is our newsletter, which is our online magazine, and it's free. elephantjournal.com/best. elephantjournal.com/best. Love without attachment from Ashley. That is a tough but fun path. Triacy, I look for others who can add something new to my life. How boring to look for a cookie cutter of oneself. Help each other grow in different ways that you can't necessarily do by yourself. Great. Love that. Growth. Beautiful growth. All right. Joey, it's not that easy to say rain and rainbow. I do agree with the learning you get from crappy relationships, but it really hurts and they really change you. Amen. None of this is easy. Chrissy, I dig your sweater. Yeah, some big old Scottish sweater that I just bought from Buffalo Exchange. Oh, everything's backward. But anyway, I'm a big fan of huge sweaters with big collars because they keep your neck warm. Nicole, I love because my love is not dependent on the object of love. My love is dependent on my state of being. So whether the other person changes, becomes different, friend turns to foe, does not matter, because my love was never dependent on the other person. My love is my state of being. I simply love. I don't know who wrote this, but I love it. Oh, I was thinking, wow, my God, I can't believe you just wrote that. That is beautiful, Nicole. So, state of being love, that is Maitri. So please read that blog, Maitri. Hopefully it's in the comments. Please meditate. 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes at night. You can meditate longer if you need to or want to. Chanel, where does commitment fit in? Wonderful question. So that's what I wrote the entire book about. So if you're present, if it's all about the present moment, then what does commitment look like? How can you possibly promise to be with someone through all this change and uncertainty? How can you promise to be present with someone a million present moments from now? Who knows? So that's what I wrote the entire book about, and I'm not going to give away the ending. All right. Michelle, elephantjournal.com/books. If you want to read the ebook, that's just $5, so it's not too bad. Michelle, do you think the initial part of dating... Actually, we could put the first chapter of my book in the comments. It's titled Things I Would Like to Do With You in the Woods. And that's free, so you can just read that and see if you connect. Michelle, do you think the initial part of dating and feeling out a person should be conscious or unconscious? Should it just be natural and mindless, or should you be conscious and mindful, feeling confused in a present situation? Well, I think you have some false dichotomies there. I think it should be natural and conscious and mindful. So mindfulness and being awake to something doesn't mean you can't be natural and relaxed. So the options are not be natural and mindless and just let it flow and feel whatever, versus being conscious and mindful and deliberate and going into like group therapy before you even know each other. Right? So you can just be awake, natural, relaxed. When you're fundamentally awake to the present moment, you can fully relax. And that's beautiful stuff. And that's the practice of meditation. So again, like dancing, the best dancing is when you're completely relaxed and present with each other. Having compassion for the loved one and building bridges of communication. From Montse, listening. Maria tried to shush the truck. Sort of working. Sheila also loved the Nutcracker. Yeah, Wendy, we don't need to use our partner as a crutch. There's another quote for Lindsay. Lindsay is at Elephant Journal. Elephant, I'm the face of Elephant. Just for my looks, really. Obviously a joke. Lindsay is like the emperor. So I'm like the Darth Vader of Elephant. But Lindsay is the emperor with the hood. And she comes around and I do whatever she tells me to do. So if I ever reference Lindsay, she's just in charge of everything. Cassandra, I grew up watching the Nutcracker. I'd love to do that every year with someone close. Yeah, and you gotta find a nice production of the Nutcracker that involves children from schools. It's not perfect. You don't want some perfect professional Nutcracker, in my mind. You want like a kind of community production, but that's pretty good. You know, not just a horrible amateur. You want it kind of in between. All right, Michelle, equal partners. Claudie, cool name. A dance is a two-people thing. You can be light and joyful as you want. If the other doesn't, it will not work. But sometimes it is hard to leave right away. I don't really understand that, but it sounds good. A dance can also be solo. You can just get out there and, you know, do your little whatever kind of dance you want. And if people think you're a bad dancer, you can have fun with it. Be like, I'm a bad dancer. People are so judgy with dancing. It's no fun. Tasha, I'm a Trans-Siberian Orchestra woman. Cool. I actually vaguely know one of the Trans-Siberianers. Montse, take me to see the Nutcracker. My husband will not go with me. You're welcome to come. We often get a couple families together, their children, my date, have dinner. It's a big fun thing. But you'd have to be in Boulder. My husband will not go with me either, and that's okay. He doesn't go to weedings. Who would want to go to a weeding? And that's okay. Actually, I have a great video on weeding. with Brigitte Mars on Weeds. If you want to put that in the comments, Sarah. Weddings, and that's okay. We are more than a night at the ballet of him going to parties where he doesn't have fun. Yeah, I am not a big fan. One of my least favorite things about dating is when you get to the point in a relationship where they're like, okay, now you have to accompany me to things you don't want to go to. And I'm always like, meh, meh, I'll go to maybe one thing I don't want to go to. It's not all about me, but I'm not going to 8 different dumb parties that I don't care about. I am going to do what I want to do with my life, and you can do what you want to do with your life, and when they overlap, that's fun. But that could also be really immature or bad advice, so don't trust me. Be present instead, and trust yourself. Victoria, have to be careful. Can't disattachment and independence with respect to your partner be a sign of narcissism? In the least, it can hide tendencies. Yeah, but again, we're all narcissistic, and expecting your partner to do everything with you can be kind of narcissistic too. So really, you just look for sort of basic goodness. You look for genuine connection based on wanting to be appreciative of your life and be available to your world. But if someone is, say, feeling introverted or tired and they want to stay home and read a book in the bath, let them do it, you know? Guilt-tripping someone into going to a party it's no fun. Chemistry. Michelle, love does not last sometimes. Sometimes their mask falls off and boy, their real face is really ugly. So what do we do? Run. Yeah, I think chemistry can be is fun, but it's a little overrated. Chemistry is a great way to get together, but it's not necessarily what a good relationship is made up of. You want something more. You want to find someone's soft, gooey, sweet inside, and you want to really appreciate who someone is on the inside. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. All right. Colleen, hello from Vermont. Wish you well along the path to finding love and partnership. I'm married to my best friend, and we've been together for 7 years, and we have a daughter. That sounds beautiful. There is a knowing between us that we can do the ups and downs of life together. I hope you find that person too. You just know. Thank you so much, Colleen. Beautiful comment. Kind of feel like ending on that note. Michelle, I'm 48 years old and experiencing a relationship with independence for the first time. Not perfect. Sounds great, but full of joy, humor, honesty, affinity, and love. There is some great wisdom and experience here. Grateful I checked in. Michelle, grateful you left a comment. Link for the book, elephantjournal.com/books. So I think I have to run to a boring business meeting. It's actually not boring. It's with great people. So I have to roll. Miles, yeah, I think a lot of us want to trust a relationship. Trust is a nice sounding thing, but it often means it's sort of license for us to fall asleep and take a relationship for granted instead of being present. And if you're present fully and you trust the present moment, that's all you need to trust. And that's, again, like dancing in a relationship. Yeah, so Indigo, that's the other unhealthy extreme. Can you talk about being too emotionally independent in a relationship? My ex was completely emotionally detached a lot of times. So that's, amen. I mean, you've already answered your own question. You have your own wisdom. That is also a problem. So if someone is too emotionally detached, maybe they don't care. Or maybe they do care, but they can't express anything, and they're kind of just a victim of their own cowardice. So that's not helpful in a relationship either. Someone has to be willing to communicate. I have a chapter in my book, Things I Would Like to Do With You, that says, I would like to hear from you when you are confused. I would like to hear from you in difficult times. I would like to hear from you when you are confused. I would like to hear from you when you are troubled. If we shut down when we're confused, that's not a relationship. You can expect and require whoever you're in a relationship with to communicate. Indigo, I love your comment. Maria, just desire a friend who I can have a pretty awesome adventure and keep our own autonomy and dance through the choreography of life together. Yeah, I love that. BJ, what about people who feel they have to work on projects? People who always get involved with wounded people to fix them? Or does everyone need fixing and I just haven't realized it? I mean, for people who always want to get involved with wounded people to fix them, they should just become house cleaners. And I say that with respect. That's a noble profession. If what you enjoy in life is cleaning up other people's situations, but you can't clean up your own situation because it's harder, I get it. It's harder for me to do my dishes than it is to go to someone else's house and say, oh, you need to move your couch. It's always easy to look at other people's situations with clarity and with a fresh perspective. But we are not a project, and treating yourself like a project or allowing yourself to be treated like a project or treating other people like a project is not kindness. Raluca, thank you. Sheila, I serve because it's what I know and what I've always done. It's in my heart. I worked for a nonprofit drug and alcohol Texas Center, TX Center. In Berkeley for 10 years, left my career to help my folks. Dad passed a few years ago. I've taken a lot of criticism for taking care of my 79-year-old mother, being told by my siblings to get a life. Also been a challenge in regard to dating. Rare to meet someone who gets it and sticks around. Whew, wow. So, yeah, first of all, your siblings and everyone sound a little bit like jerks, but I know I'm only hearing your side. It is hard if, all I've done is work like a maniac for 14 years. And I have not been nearly as selfless as you. I've just worked on Elephant, which hopefully is for the benefit of others. But, it's really hard to date me when I'm just on my laptop all the time. That's not a very good relationship. So I get it that people find it difficult to date you if you're really devoting yourself to taking care of your parents, which is beautiful, by the way. And you deserve tons of love and respect, at least from us. So give Sheila some love. What I would encourage you to do is to get on Match.com or Meet Mindful or whatever, and and just be clear about who you are. And never go on a first date without being clear about who you are. Say, hey, just so you know, I'm devoted to taking care of my mom, or I'm devoted to being an entrepreneur. And so I wrote this blog, Love is Selfish. Please read it. It was about me meeting this lady who said, or maybe I said to her, but anyway, we agreed that I want to do more in life than be in love. I want to do more in life than be on a picnic with someone I love for the rest of my life. I want to be of service to this world before I die. And that is inspiring. And if I can find someone to love and respect and have fun with, a best friend who can help me be of service, that is good stuff. So Sarah, if you can I also wrote a blog about that. It was a rebuttal to this horrible article I read on Huffington Post titled Date a Boy Who Travels. And it was like basically date a boy who's a trustafarian, who's totally gnar and, YOLOing around the world. And I wrote a kind of rebuttal to that titled Date a Boy Who Serves, which is probably one of my favorite things I wrote. Date a Boy Who Serves. Jamez would like a link to Maitri, so it's Maitri. Sarah, if you can put that back in the comments again, that would be great. John, so do I suggest guided meditation or meditation in silence? Generally, meditation in silence once you've got the training on how to do it. And it's great to meditate with other people as well. But guided meditation is also fantastic, and we'll do that in 1 minute. But basically, it should be guided like a set of training wheels on your bike. And then you take the training wheels off once you got it. Eleni from Athens, Greece. Can you ever go back to someone who has betrayed you? Just join the conversation. Well, without knowing more, it's hard to say. But yeah, I think forgiveness is wonderful, and we all make mistakes. That said, don't go back just because you want to and you love them. You have to go back only if you feel like they've actually changed. Otherwise, you're just jumping on the habit trail. The little wheel that hamsters love to run on. You're just jumping on the habitrail of betrayal. Habitrail of betrayal. I deserve an emoticon for that one. Maybe not. I'm not getting any likes or funny emoticons. Habitrail of betrayal, I feel like, is now I can die happy. Marcy, I totally agree with about service and having a wealthy life. I make inspiring women pinup calendars and their fundraiser for women organizations. I'm a pinup myself, and I love that being myself can help others around the world. It's making me a living now, but I didn't know that the idea would do that. I was present the whole time for the first one, and look what happened. Anyway, I love the idea of looking for someone that wants to serve too. What a lovely thing, and I'm going to keep that in mind. Yeah, read Love is Selfish. I love your comment. And yeah, who would know that creating a pinup calendar in some sort of servicey way would be your career? But if you follow what you love, and you follow what you're good at, and you follow what's of service, and you follow what you can make a living at, that's right livelihood. Bada bing, bada boom. No, we should not rely on each other for happiness, but, you know, we should be able to bring happiness into someone's life. All right, my sweater is great. One thing I always live by, this is from Chrissy, is to be solid within yourself, hold your head up, and open up your heart. Whatever happens, all the external parts of life are always changing. There is always problems, but if you are peaceful in your mind and feet firm on the ground, then you won't be swayed with your surroundings. Keep your roots strong, water them regularly, love openly. Love starts with you. I love that. You're basically describing the practice of meditation. Beautiful. All right, I really need to go because I'm late. So there's so many good comments. Can we just do part 3 tomorrow? We'll do part 3 tomorrow. I'll do it at 9 a.m. sharp tomorrow. And if you can all copy paste your comments into a little note thing and then copy them tomorrow, I'll get to them tomorrow. So let's practice meditation for one moment. So we'll practice a meditation similar to that last comment. This is a very short meditation that you can flash on at any moment in your day. So first, you ground yourself. If you're standing, feel your feet. If you're sitting, feel your sit bones. Relax. Feel Mother Earth below you. Now, with your eyes open, you feel the sky above, the heavens above, the vast openness continuing really forever, which is nuts to think about. Above, vast openness above, earth below. Feel the two connect in your heart, in your shoulders, in your chest, in your breast. Take a deep breath into your heart or your lungs. Breathe into any tension. Breathe into it. Don't try to get rid of it. Let's do that again. Feel the earth, feel the heavens above. Breathe into your heart. And then breathe out. All right, let's do that one last time. Let's close our eyes this time. Feel the earth below, feel the heavens above, feel your heart in the middle. Breathe into that heart. Breathe out and open your eyes. And enjoy your day. Thank you so much, everyone. You can flash on that little meditation. Earth, heavens, heart, breathe, open your eyes and out any old time. I'll continue with part 3 tomorrow. And please bring your comments. Thank you so much. Sorry the video cut off earlier. But, you know, it's Comcast's fault.